Staying alive to just survive, lost everything you've got. All your friends are lifeless corpses, their flesh begins to rot. And you've got to get away. Haunted nights turn out the lights, the horde might shamble by. And your little chainsaw starts to sputter out and die. And you have to put your boyfriend down. When you live in Zombie Town, where everybody wants your brain, and there's agonizing pain, you wanna stay where you can play another zombie game. You wanna play where everybody eats your brain. Zombicide is a cooperative game, meaning all of the players work together to beat the game. There are many different missions with their own different challenges, but in the end, the way to win is simple: complete the objective and stay alive. To start the game, choose a mission from the rulebook. Next, set up the game board by placing the tiles according to the mission's illustration. Then take the cards and separate the zombie cards from the equipment cards. You'll want to set aside the Evil Twins and Maz shotgun cards, as well as the Wounded, Pan, and Molotov cards. These are special cards that might come into play later in the game. While you're looking through the cards, also take out a fire axe, crowbar, and pistol card. These, along with the pans, will be your starting equipment. Shuffle the zombie deck and place it near the board. Next, each player chooses the survivors they want to play. The number of survivors each player gets depends on the number of players playing. Place your character miniatures on the mission's starting area and collect their identity cards, placing an experience marker on the first square of the danger bar for each character. This will move up as you accomplish objectives and kill zombies. You will also want to put a marker on your skills at this point. Randomly hand out the starting equipment cards to each of the survivors. If one of the survivors' skills says they start with a weapon, like say a pistol, the player may go through the equipment deck and find the weapon card and add it to their starting equipment. After everyone has their starting equipment, shuffle the equipment deck and put it near the board. Now you're ready to start. All that's left is choosing who will go first. On a player's turn, they activate each of their survivors, one at a time in any order they choose. When active, a survivor has 3 actions, which may include killing zombies, moving around the board, or other important things that we'll touch on later. After the player has activated all of their survivors, it's the next player's turn. And once every player has a turn, the zombie phase begins. No one player controls the zombies. On their turn, zombies all go at the same time, spending their actions either attacking survivors or moving to the closest survivor they see or the noisiest zone they can hear. After all the zombies have taken their actions, new zombies spawn in at the spawn zones. The players draw a zombie card and see how many zombies spawn in this round. The number of zombies is directly related to the level of the most experienced character. After spawning new zombies onto the board, all noise tokens are removed from the board and the next round begins. Let's look at the character sheet real quick. Every character sheet has 5 inventory slots, 2 of which are for equipping weapons and tools. As you may have guessed, this means the maximum items you can carry is 5. When your character is wounded, one of the slots is taken up by a wounded card. If for this or for any other reason a survivor drops an item in their inventory, it is discarded. Oh, and if your character gets 2 or more wound cards, they die. Hopefully the other characters fare better. Moving on to the map, let's talk about moving. On the map is divided into zones. On the street, these zones are the areas in between the crosswalks, and in buildings they are represented by rooms. Moving your character from one zone into another costs 1 action, as long as there aren't any closed doors or solid walls in your way. When you open a door to an unexplored building, you will spawn zombies for each room. For every room, draw a zombie card and place the indicated number of zombies in that room. Seeing as the number of zombies on each card increases as the game goes on, it might be wise to open new buildings early on. But regardless of when you get around to it, opening doors with the wrong set of tools makes a bit of a racket. Which brings us to noise tokens. On weapon cards you may see this symbol. It means that every time you use this weapon, it places a sound token in the zone your character is standing in. Not all weapons and tools make noise though. Melee weapons tend to be silent, but in the case of the fire axe, attacking a zombie is a silent action, but if you're using it to open a door, you're gonna get some attention. Okay, so shooting a shotgun makes some noise, what's the big deal? Well, the built-in intelligence of how zombies move around the map says that if a zombie can see survivors, it will move towards that zone. If it can see survivors in different zones, or can't see any survivors at all, then it will go toward the noisiest zone, even when the survivors have been trying to keep things quiet. You see, miniatures themselves count as noise tokens and influence the behavior of zombies. So in this case, Doug used his action to shoot his pistol. That's going to be pretty loud. The rest of the survivors are huddled in this zone and haven't used any loud weapons. Because Doug and his pistol shot only count as 2 noise tokens and the survivors in this zone count as 3, the zombie will actually go after the larger group. Alright, now that we've gotten most of the boring stuff done with, let's take a look at combat. At the bottom of each weapon card there are 4 symbols, the first of which shows the range your weapon has. Melee weapons typically have a range of 0 because they are used for fighting zombies in the zone you are standing in. Basically, if your weapon has a 0 in this first box, it can be used in the same zone you are in, and any other number shows how far it can shoot. The second box shows how many dice you roll each time you use this weapon. Many of the weapons only have a 1 in this box, but a few have more. The third box on the bottom of the card is what you have to roll on the aforementioned dice to score damage. A 4+ means you have to roll a 4 or above to deal damage to the zombies you are taking a crack at. 50-50 odds. Obviously, the lower the number, the better your chances. The last box is the weapon's damage rating. This indicates how powerful your weapon is. There are zombies out there that are tougher than your average runner and walker, and they require a bigger punch to take down. The number here doesn't stack, so 2 level 1 weapons don't count as a level 2 weapon. Well, when it comes to the zombies' attacks, it's a little more simple. They attack, they hit, a survivor gains a wound for each. Wounds can be distributed evenly to keep people alive, or players may opt to kill someone off. Your choice. So those are most of the basics, and since this video is getting pretty long, I'll cut it short here. There are more rules covering subjects like crafting, driving cars, and equipment, so if you'd like me to make another video covering these parts of the game, let me know in the comments. And until next time, this is Hogwash, over and out. I'll catch you later.